You know that some of Mary Yoder's sisters believe that Kaitlyn Conley, the wrong verdict came down and that she is not guilty. The DA's office vehemently expressing their displeasure with that opinion. They really believe that unequivocally that she is guilty and that the jury made the right decision. Sharon Mills is one of the sisters of Mary Yoder, the deceased, who believes that Kaitlyn Conley is not guilty. And she called in last week, and out of respect for the DA's office, they didn't want to debate, so we honored that and also told Sharon that she could call in this week, and she's here now. Sharon Mills, good morning. Thanks for coming on the radio.
Good morning. Thank you.
So what do you want to say? After I know you were able to listen last week, what do you want to say?
Well, there are a few points I'd like to mention first regarding the interview that the DAs gave.
Yeah.
First, I want to say that same hostile posture that DA Lizzie had with you, that's the way we were treated, my sisters and I, with any encounter that she had with us. No one from the DA's office ever said, we're sorry for the loss of your sister. We were treated with hostility and condescension from the very beginning. You would have thought that, given the circumstances, that they would have been a little bit kinder to us, but I guess we were seen as a threat from the beginning. And we aren't out there yelling and screaming. We're being very respectful, just trying to get some of the facts out that the people have a right to know.
Yeah. And some of those facts we have talked about, and the DA's office really just dismissed that. Even the fact they say there's no evidence of Bill Yoder having a relationship prior, even though there was someone that testified that, but they just didn't feel it was credible. That is a relationship with your other sister. But you and your some of your siblings and others really believe that the wrong person is sitting in jail right now.
That's correct. And I'd also like to make a comment about Kathy and Bill, and something that McNamara said. He said that Kathy was dating two men, I think, or D.A. Lissy said that, and one resembled Bill. I'd like to know, did they actually meet that person? Did they see him? Did someone go to Casanova? Was it documented that they interviewed him? And did they see and write down his physical description? Because Kathy's neighbor, who was an eyewitness that testified in court, she had, no hesitation at all and no doubt. She pointed to Bill Yoder in the courtroom. She knew him to be the man that she saw Kathy in this very intimate, I think she described it as an intense kissing and hugging embrace, which was so intense it made her uncomfortable. But she even said that she saw Bill there many times prior to this. He was often there in the yard doing yard work. So it wasn't just a one-time thing and that he could have been mistaken for someone else. And another thing, too, I'd like to say is that Janine went to visit Kathy. It was sometime late spring or early summer before Mary passed away. And Kathy told her about a couple different men she was involved with, and she gave Janine descriptions of these men. One was a Latin doctor who I guess is short and like a bodybuilder physique, and the other was a very stocky man, a short, stout man. He was a musician that played in a local Irish or Scottish pub or something. And neither of them would fit that description. So that's why I'd like to know. I mean, if they have something written down and Dean McNamara can present it, then great. That will give us closure with that one question. But there are so many unanswered questions.
Yeah. They did say that the DA's office is going to release the entire transcript after sentencing, the entire transcript from the trial, the second trial, which got very little time, by the way, on the Dateline special. But they will. They're going to release that coming up. Manaski quickly, and then we'll.
Yeah, you mentioned Bill and the relationship there. I just have to say this: if you believe that Kaitlyn was wrongfully convicted, if you asked her who did it, she would say it was Adam. Right? She wrote a letter claiming that. But what I'm saying is why Bill keeps being cycled through this in the relationship.
Who do you think did it? Your family, the members who believe that Kaitlyn is innocent. If Kaitlyn didn't do it, who did it?
It has to be Adam,
Well,
right?
that's a loaded question, and it's not an easy one to answer.
Right.
We're never going to know what really happened, but I made it very clear in my testimony in the first trial that I believe that Bill Yoder is behind this.
Okay.
I believe he masterminded an ultimate whodunit. I believe Kaitlyn believes that Adam did it. I believe Adam even thinks that he could have killed his mother because there's a possibility that he did try to make his mother ill. But it is truly the ultimate whodunit.
Finally, I want to ask you, one of the things you wanted to point out is you're the one that actually called in and asked for an investigation. You got the investigation started, which ultimately led to Kaitlyn, which you disagree with, and you wanted to explain why you started the investigation. What prompted you to do that?
Well, I contacted the United County Sheriff's Department on October 15th. That was a month after the Yoders learned that Mary had died from a lethal dose of the poison colchicine. And neither Mary's husband, Bill, or any of their 3 adult children asked for an investigation. I mean, we were kind of kept in the dark. We weren't getting information from the beginning, or we were getting inaccurate information regarding Mary's cause of death. So there were just so many questions, and after a month went by, I contacted the United County Sheriff's Department. I was actually trying to seek information to see if they could tell us things, and they've never heard of Mary. And shortly after my initial phone call, an investigation was opened. Right. And Lieutenant Nelson told me that he was surprised that he wasn't notified, but he said, well, that's something that he'll address at a later date. So I don't know why the Yoders didn't ask for an investigation. I certainly would have wanted one. I mean, if Mary died of a poison, wouldn't you want to know how it got into her system, where she had this exposure? For no other reason than, other family members would be in danger. They had children, grandchildren to consider.
Very interesting. Sharon Mills, we appreciate your time. I know this is a trying, difficult time for you and your family, but what is interesting is that you have no relationship to Kaitlyn Conley. You just don't believe that she did it. And I appreciate your time coming on the air this morning. I'm assuming after the holiday we'll have an opportunity to speak again.
Okay, thank you.
Right. We're sorry for your loss. Thank you.
It's Sharon Mills, who is the sister of the deceased Mary Yoder.
Can I just quickly... And I'm very sorry for again, we've said this before, all of those involved that are victims. But again, for her, if you ask the person that she believes was wrongfully convicted who committed this murder, she would say it was the son. Nothing to do with Bill. And to say that she thinks
what she
Bill
said was
masterminded.
But how
Kaitlyn
first of all, if what
Kaitlyn says, who was convicted, Kaitlyn says, Adam told me he did it.
Hold on a second. If Kaitlyn didn't do it, which is what they believe, then she really doesn't 100% unequivocally know who did do it. And that would allow for Sharon Mills and those sisters to have their opinion as well. And, and in fairness, the DA's office is saying there is no debate here. They'll appeal. That's a part of the legal process. The jury has ruled in the way that they truly believe. They truly believe, the DA's office, they believe that Kaitlyn Conley is not only guilty, but they believe it's obvious to them, based on the forensic evidence, that she is guilty. So, again, it'll be interesting to see what comes after the first of the year, when the sentencing comes, when the appeal comes, and this drama does not end here.